Hey Run Junkies, a while back I defined some of my favorite running terms, and today I thought I would give you a few more. These are fairly common, and since I have a tendency to throw a few of these around, I figure I would define them for you so you understood what I was talking about. Here we go! BRF, best running friends. While I don't have a BRF right now since I'm super slow and I tend to run alone anyway, these are the people with whom you feel safest when running. You can complain about the conditions or about how you're feeling. You can talk about your challenges and your victories either in running or in life in general. It's kind of like a coffee date but with running shoes instead of lattes. The advantage of a good BRF is that it's like going to Vegas. What happens on the run stays on the run. Now there are a lot of other benefits to having a BRF. It is safer to run with someone and it's also more fun. The tendency is that you get to open up a little bit more and you talk about things that might be more personal because the conversation, even though you're out in the world, is a little bit more private. I think I might start calling you guys this from now on. What do you think? BRFs or Run Junkies? You can cast your vote right here in the poll. RACE-CATION. This is when you are combining a race and a vacation, or you are planning a vacation around a race specifically. So whether you are packing an overnight bag or a full suitcase, or you're loading the car up, or you're getting on a plane, if you are going somewhere that looks like travel in order to get your race on, that is a RACE-CATION. These are a ton of fun because you are getting out of your groove a little bit, you're seeing more things, it's more of an adventure, and they tend to be family oriented as well. So you are making a lot more family memories than you would if you were just doing a local race. VO2 max. Who cares? I'm just kidding. This is where I have to get my smart on. Actually, VO2 max is a pretty scientific metric and not one that's used by recreational runners very often. This is short for volume of oxygen maximum. It's basically a measure of how much oxygen your body uses to create energy. It's expressed in liters per minute and it should increase as you get more fit. Some watches, including mine, might throw a VO2 max number at you, but unless you are performing a lab test specifically, that number may not be all that accurate. This kind of test should be done under supervision. It's the kind of test, maybe you've seen it, where someone's running on a treadmill, they're wearing a mask over the face, the mask is connected to a computer. Thanks, but no thanks. I personally don't use this as a metric, but I feel like I needed to sound smart today, so there you go. Another term we use often in running is split. Which do you think it is? What happens when you haven't been running in a while and your pants don't fit anymore? The banana split? Or the predetermined distance by which you are measuring your pace? It's probably the last one, although the first one kind of happens too. No, we do use splits in terms of determining a consistent pace. For example, most distance runners use the mile as that split distance and comparing 1 mile to the next in terms of how consistent they are in their pace. If you are doing speed work, however, you might shorten that split to 1/4 of a mile, maybe even shorter. It's also a button that I accidentally push on my watch to make one split pace look completely different from the others. Raise your hand if you've ever done that. Bling. This is a motivating factor for a lot of runners. In fact, I know runners who will not participate in a race unless there is bling at the finish line. I'm talking, of course, about finishers medals. These aren't mine. Race organizers figured out pretty quickly that avid runners don't want a collection of t-shirts. They want something else that looks a little more impressive to commemorate their events. Some are hard won, like those for major events. There are others for the collectors lurking somewhere in all of us. A really good example of this is the Rock and Roll event series. They offer additional medals if you complete more than one event in a single calendar year. Run Disney races are also really good for filling up your medal rack as they provide back-to-back challenge medals as well as something called the coast-to-coast medal. So within a calendar year, if you finish a race at Walt Disney World and a race at Disneyland, you get the coast-to-coast medal as well. That's on my list. Links, as always, are in the description. The question for today is, what do you think of the terms this time around? Would you like to see something that I missed? Let me know in the comments below. But that is it for me today. Thanks everybody for watching. Get out there, go find your awesome. We'll see you next time, and in the meantime, happy running.